Hi guys, alright, this is Dave Bennett. It's March 11th, 2015, and we just got done discussing the Theme2HTML version 1.13 upgrade where we added the Google Translator to the back end. So for instance, if we take a look at the back end administrator panel, we can select languages physically and literally see them appear right now on the page. And everything is translated in the back end, and that's very nice. And that works for all the different pages you go on. Okay, everything in the back here, all the different settings are translated, and everything that they do and what you can do with them. Pretty much everything is translated clearly enough that you can understand how to operate in almost any language, right? Any mainstream language. Okay, having said that, let's talk about the front end. What if you would like to be able to show your visitors what your website is saying in different languages? And that's interesting because that you want to affect everything. You want it to affect the banner slider messages, everything that shows up in your banner slider. You want it to affect what things like this are saying. You want it to affect anything that is possible. You know, some things are images, some print is in the images. Those cannot be touched that way. But generally speaking, you want this sort of thing to be translated and this sort of verbiage here to be translated. Okay. How do we make that possible so visitors can see what you have to offer in their own native language pretty much anywhere they are in the world? See, that expands what you're selling to the world. One interesting quote from a long time ago, I'm sure the numbers is weighted even more in the factor now, in that direction, is that 85% of the internet is not in English. And that was then. The number's probably more like 90% now. Most of the internet is not in English. And so if your web pages are only in English, that is the least comfortable thing for about 90% of the users to be reading. They'd rather read something else in their own language. They're getting great value out of it. There's no particular reason to flip to English. So you would like to make your websites available to them. Let's talk about incorporating the Google Translator tool and how we can place it. Because if somebody hits your site and it is in English, where are different places that you could put your translator tool that would make sense? One obvious one might be here where the call now block is, because it's one of the first things you see. Another one could be here in the left sidebar. I'm just going to show you that. Another one could be physically on the page anywhere. Okay, I just want to show you how that works, and I'll just show you the top box in here, and you'll understand the idea really quick. Okay, so first of all, how do you get the translator tool that you need? Okay, let me just show you. If you go here, okay, moji-crew.com, that's our main website. If you go there, then slash Google-translate, okay, so moji-crew.com slash Google-translate. Okay, if you do that, you'll see this. Okay, there it is. And here is a zip file. Download it and unzip it, and it gives you a text file to work from. And this text file gives you this coding right here. This is the code snippet you're looking for. Now, you could stare at the screen and hand type this out, or you could search Google and find it, or go here and download the zip file, unzip it, and you'll have it. There it is. Now, that is the code snippet. All I have to do is paste it into an appropriate place on the back end of the website to serve the front end so that it's useful. So let me just copy it, okay? And let's take a look at some options we can give it, because we could even do more than one. All right, I said I want to put one up in here because I'd like it to be visible pretty much in this open area. I just want to make it clear at the top so that anyone who lands on the page, one of the first things that they might see, I just want that to be there. Okay, so global settings, and I'll go to the call us header text, because that's what that is. This is the block that says, see our new wine accessories, accessories here. If I look, that is it. See our new wine accessories, accessories here. Let's say I want to put the block right below or above that. How could I do that? Okay. Well, you can't just paste it. That won't make any sense. If I paste it and save it, it's going to misunderstand. Now, when I look at the front of the page, it's going to think that I wanted all of that to be print. Okay, so don't make that mistake. Instead, let's go back, call this header text. Okay, I'll take all that out because it doesn't belong in there anyway. Okay, what we're going to do instead is go to, the source code view that's right here for the source code. And that way we can see what's happening. There's a paragraph and it says see our new wine accessories. Then there's an H1, a header tag, and it's got a link and it says accessories here. Okay, so I'm going to want to put it in there. Now, either above or below, depending on my interests. I could put it above, make it the very first thing on the page. Just move everything else down and put it in at the top. Now, okay, there it is. I mean, that's it. I could even put a line break in there if I want to create a little separation to see how it looks. Okay, I can update. Let's come back and take a look. Okay, and there it is. It's at the top. Okay, and you can do all of your stuff with it. It's very much right there. Now, does it work? First of all, let's just see if it works. Yes, it works. There's the banner slider. There's the home page. Here's the contact us message and the submit now message. Here's all of the different types of wines, Chile, Australian, German. Here's click here to read more text. This is basically saying presenting Volumba. And it continues and it continues and it continues and so on. Okay. And all of it is there. Now, the reality check is this can work on any page. If I have another page to flip to, I could continue to do the translation on those pages. Like these are testimonials. Okay. Services down below. All right. And even closes with information that would explain where this is from. Okay. Now, fine. That's one place I could put it. One thing, though, I think it doesn't look quite good until I put a line break underneath. So just to show how that works, okay, then I'll go back to the call us header text, and I'll want to put a line break there. Now, the best place to put it is just right here before the wording, so that it forces the wording to the next line, because a line break, by definition, takes up the entire line. So anything immediately after it must get shoved down to the next possible spot. All right. So I shall hit this horizontal rule, and there it is. There. Now the reason I put it there, not above, is I'm not trying to split up the source coding. I just want the wording to come immediately after that. Now I could check it if I want. I could hit source code and just see how it looks. And what I should see is at the end of the coding, right, at the end comes the horizontal rule coding, and immediately after that, of course, comes everything else, our paragraph and so forth. And that's what's happening, so let me update it. It should look good. Okay, come back to the front and take a look. There you go. Okay, it does put in extra line breakage in here, but it also makes you look good by simply saying select language. So it's one option. I could put it underneath, and besides, this has a line of its own, so maybe I'll use that instead of the horizontal rule. So if I take a look again, let's see what that would be like. Okay, I can flip to the source code and do it this way. It's just easier. Let me cut the coding. Okay, just cut it. And I know I can get rid of the horizontal rule now. Okay, and let me just go down here and paste it in. Okay, I can hit source back just to see that it looks right. I don't need to. I hit update. And now if I come back and look, there you go. Now that even looks cleaner. Okay, it's just as obvious, to me anyway, and it looks cleaner. Now, all right, great. Let's say I want to go a little further. I'm not going to try to stick it up in too many places because I haven't even tried to figure out how to do it yet. There aren't too many places I would think to put it. One is up here, nice and obvious. This is where I would think to put it, right at the top. Another one could be down here in the left sidebar. You know how we say you can create your own modules for the left sidebar, your own widgets? Well, let's do that right now. Let me go to the dashboard so I can go to left sidebar, and I'm going to create a new widget like the other ones. This one said translate this page, and I had it turned off. Let me delete it so I can do it again from the beginning. I can add a new widget, and I could say translate this page. I could just say translator. Okay. I could even just say language translator, just anything that somebody would recognize right away, okay, in a different language. If they can barely read English, well, there you go. If they can at least read that much, then they get it. Okay. All right, here we go. Or if somebody tells them that the site's available in different languages, or if you put some text into the page that makes that clear, that they can look for that translate button. Okay. Now, check this out. Let me copy this. You can just show that your site's available in different languages. You could even just create the site to have different language options in different tabs, but instead of getting that carried away, I'm just going to do this. So now, again, I cannot just paste it in the front end or it's going to look like print. If I paste it here and hit OK, it'll look like print. That's no good. Let me go back. Boom. Okay. But I can go to the source code and I can paste it in there as source code. And when I flip back, I won't see it, but that's fine. Okay, I'm going to save it. Okay. Now it's at the bottom, so maybe I want to move it to the top. Okay, so it's the first thing you see in the left sidebar. You can put it where you want. Save the sorting. Okay, so now when I come back and refresh, there we go. It's going to appear in a moment or two, or it should. Either that or I'll go back and double check. So I probably got it wrong. Oh, I know why. It won't allow more than one per page. Otherwise, you have a mismatch possibility. This could be for Spanish. That could be for Romanian. That doesn't work, so I have to choose. I just remembered. So now, if I have to choose, then I have to choose. All right, so let's just take it out, call this header, of here, long enough to see where it would be down below. Okay, there we go. And let's flip it again. Okay, now you do not see it up here, but you do see it down here. And again, you know, go to whatever you would like and make sure it's showing up. And it is, you know. And there you have it. And again, this thing will work site-wide, okay? All right, just give it a moment to do the actual translation and you'll see it, okay? So there you go. That's how you get out on the front end as well as the back end. So it's completely up to you how you want to use it, and you can study different ways to use it. You could just put it into the page itself, of course. All right, that could be another way to do it. So again, if I were to take it out of the left sidebar, or I guess disable it, maybe I can just simply disable it. And then if that's true, maybe I can just use it on the page itself. I haven't tried. Wait, I can go back to the original. Okay, now pages. Okay, home. All right, now that I'm here, let me see. If I were to put it in here, where would I put it? Maybe I put it at the very beginning or align it to the far right, something like that. But let me just see what I can do. Okay. And I want it to go before the H1 tag here, perhaps. I'm guessing so. Copy. Because it wouldn't make sense to have it inside the H1 tag, I think. You can always test. Sometimes it's a test. And besides, doing it the way I would imagine that you would be doing it yourself just helps with the test. Okay, let me come back to the main page. Now, in a case like this, I just have it in the page, right? It's here. This is only here because I'm logged in, right? So don't let that bother you. And I could put spacing after this by putting either a horizontal rule, or I could just put a line break, right? So if I come in here and go here, I could just hit one down. You know, I could do something like that. Update and see how that looks. Okay, and that gives me the spacing I want. Now, if I want to move that over, I probably have to wrap it inside a tag, like a paragraph tag, so that I can do an align to the right, something like that. Let me see, either that or because it's a div tag, let me just see if I can align the div tag to the right, because, you know, usually you can do things like that. Align equals right, in double quotes, and that's for the div. Okay, let's just see if it works. I don't know if it will. I'm just thinking it might. Yeah, it worked. It's right over here. And finally, how do you get rid of this? Well, you just log out, right? Okay, so if I logged out and come back, there you go. And that looks pretty normal in that case. By the way, it will get everything on the whole page, not just what's below, but everything that's above. Okay, so even if I scroll up, okay. And again, the only reason you would put something like this up high and obvious is to make sure it's immediately visible, right? So that people can see it right away. Because if they don't, if they're looking at the top and seeing English, and they don't think to scroll down, they'll probably never see this, right? They'll be fighting with the English, then they might see it. But if you really want to widen the audience, make sure this thing is nice and obvious, such as in that call us block. Okay, I hope you found that interesting. All right.